Here we go. A super Sunday of sports and sports prognostication and outright lying with the Bocchini boys. The Don of great debates and his agent, aka the Scorpion. There's not a deadlier speaker in the universe than he. But today it's all about the one, the only AJ Bocchini.
What's up, Jack? How we feeling?
Hey, where are you? There you are. Hey,
there we are.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man? How we doing?
We're doing great. We're doing great. Yesterday you had quite a day, huh?
Yes,
sir. You always want to start there. Where are you, first of all, so people?
I am at home with my parents. I'm at the Sheboygan house.
So. All right.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin, just tipping the edge of the village of Kohler, first house outside.
Nice. You guys made the trek to get AJ and then go out to Heartland yesterday. You guys were around the world in 80 days yesterday.
Yes, sir. We were.
Yeah, it was good. No, it was a good day. We went down and had a little lunch down in Wauwatosa, and then we picked up AJ, and it was a good day. It was that game was absolutely amazing yesterday afternoon. So.
What and the game was, for people who don't know?
We played Heartland Arrowhead. It's a really
hold it, AJ. Homestead Boys Varsity, right? Do they call it men's varsity? Or what do you call it? Boys Varsity? What is it? Boys. Okay. Boys Varsity, Homestead against Heartland Arrowhead Varsity basketball, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's our for put in perspective, Heartland Arrowhead did win the state championship last year, although they're down a little bit this year, more of a 500 team, but lost a lot of good teams so far.
Yeah, they lost to. Yeah, I don't know them all, but they lost to a lot of good people. A lot of good teams so far. So.
But they're playing a good schedule, like you guys play a good schedule. Sounds like
they play a good schedule. Wow, they play a really good schedule. They played Oshkosh North. They played. I
think they played Wisconsin Lutheran
already. So we play Wisconsin Lutheran later in the year. So
you got to beat the Lutherans. God,
come on. They're really good, Jack. They're really good.
So. I don't care. They're Lutherans. For God's sake, let's go.
Okay.
Well, let's go back to what happened yesterday.
So we started off really slow. We were down.
Well, let's say what position you're physically.
We were down 3 players yesterday in terms of injuries and sickness. So we were down 3 players yesterday,
including their leading scorer,
including our second leading scorer and leading rebound. So we were down 3 players going into the game, and it was an afternoon game, so it was kind of a sluggish start. We were down 9 at halftime, and the coaches and I just kind of said, "You got to have some pride." And we got down as many as 20 in the second half, and we
down 20 with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah. Wow.
And we slowly chipped away. We got it under 10 with about 6 minutes to go, and we slowly chipped away and pulled it out at the end. So,
okay, I've got a bunch of questions. Yeah. When you are down 3 players, how many active players play in a game? How many players are actually in a rotation?
I would say that probably
played about 7.
No, you usually play about 10, 9 to 10.
We usually play about 9 to 10 guys.
So coach has them ready to go. They're not just been on the end of the bench.
No, some of the guys we even brought up from the JV game, so it was a good experience for all of us. So.
Great. How did you say chip away? What was the key? Defense, hitting some outside shots. What happened?
Our defense. I'll give them credit where credit is due. We put a senior on one of their sophomore point guards, and he did really well. And then he shut him down for the second part of the second half, and the key was our defense. Get out.
And I would say they didn't chip away; they bombed away. They hit a bunch of threes. They went from being down 20 to they took the lead with 3.5 minutes left. So it was their coach picked up the technical with about 6 minutes, 7 minutes left.
They were up 12 with 6 minutes left, and their coach picked up a technical. And we pretty
for
much
what?
He I don't know what he said, but he said some.
He said the right words.
I was gonna say he said the right words, and he went from there. So
well, he got warned about a minute ahead of time, and then he thought his kid got fouled under the basket. You know, I mean, when you're down 20 points, you're either hang it up or go crazy. And,
well, it was kind of funny because at one point in the game we were stuck coming back, and you can hear the coach go, "What are we doing?" So that was kind of funny, but it was a good experience for us. I think it'll help us in the long run, and it was a non-conference game, so it'll help us with the. For those who don't know, when it comes to seeding, you need a bunch of non-conference wins because there will be a computer now. So.
And last year you did not get favorable seeding in the tournament.
No,
if I recall correctly.
We got a 4 seed last year. So
okay, you said injuries and illness. Anybody seriously, or is it just like out for a while, or what's is it going to affect the way you play now from now on?
One of our guys got sick a few before Christmas break. Played a couple games and then hasn't been back to school. Now, granted, we've only had 2 days of school since, but
it pneumonia and COVID combination for over 2 weeks now. So
that's brutal.
Yeah,
lucky they're young.
And these are starting, and then one kid ankle for a month.
Sprained his ankle for a month, and then another kid.
Does he have planters?
Another kid has plantar fasciitis, and he's a freshman. So
yeah, all sound like no fun. AJ, do you guys do full court presses? Do you guys do that? What kind of defense?
No, we did a lot of. We just played a lot of man to man yesterday. We don't play a lot of zone because we're so athletic, but we played a lot of man to man yesterday and did it really well. In terms of second half, we did really well. First half, we had a little trouble with guarding people. So
okay. I'm not a big press zone defense guy. I think it's not the way to teach kids how to play. You get them out there and you play man to man.
Well, and especially with no shot clock in high school, you really playing zone is kind of excuse me. I wouldn't say it's a sign of weakness, but it really doesn't allow you to control the game because they can just sit out there and wait for you to get out of the zone. So
there's no shot clock? I thought there was a shot clock in high school.
There's a shot clock in Minnesota. There's not a shot clock in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah, Coach Kreider is a big advocate for the shot clock. I've talked to people that said, you want to talk about shot clock, talk to Coach Kreider. He writes there.
Or just read his Twitter account.
Read his Twitter.
Yeah, that's all you need to do.
But he said he backed off now, but he's a big shot clock guy. It is good for the game. Shot clock would be good for the game, but it's the financial implications that always get the pushback. Right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because you'd have to pay somebody to run it and do all that stuff. And to get there are some schools that have the clocks in their gym already. They're just not
using them yet.
They're not using them. But it's a lot of I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they go to it like maybe the higher levels of high school ball. But maybe, I don't know. I will see.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Margot's having an issue. So this week, this week? You're back to a regular schedule?
We play Tuesday, Friday this week. Tuesday we're at Whitefish Bay, and Friday we're at home against Grafton.
Tuesday's a big game.
Tuesday's a big game. Whitefish Bay is really they're solid. They're in 4th in the league, and then Grafton, they lost a lot last year. But every game in the league is a challenge. It depends on your matchup that day.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're in a solid league. That's good. And the kids that are coming around, how would you say, are they coming rounding into season form?
Well, we won 3 of 4 since the Christmas break started, so it's been really good. And the one we lost, we were in the game most of the game, and they just had one kid go off for like 31 points. So I like our chances on the stretch. We if we look ahead a little bit, we got Wisco Lutheran, who's number 1 in the state, coming up on the 14th of January. So we got them on the road at their place. So
did you play there last year?
We played them last year. We didn't play there.
Oh, okay.
We played them last year.
That's what I asked. The same question, Jack. That's how age is showing us. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, jeez, man. Oh boy. Okay. Anything else for high school basketball? How's the Homestead girls? How are they doing?
They're 7-3. Their losses are to like Hartford, who's number 5 in the state for D1. Hartford, who's number 5 in the state for D1. Prairie School is number 1 in the state for D4, and then Pewaukee is number 1 in the state for D1. So they're doing pretty well. They got a lot of veterans. They got a lot of seniors on their team. So we'll see. We'll see how they do in the rest of the way. But they don't play until the 7th. So they didn't play yesterday, but they'll play on the 7th. So
okay. All right. Well, so the state of college basketball from high school basketball from a Homestead point of view is looking good and looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yes, I am. I am very much so. So
good. Okay, where do you want to go next?
Let's go. College ball because we haven't had a show since Friday. So
college basketball or football?
Let's go college basketball because college football starts next week Thursday.
Okay.
Let's go Marquette and Wisconsin. Let's go Wisconsin first because that was just an absolute display of pure shooting like I've never seen before. So,
are they a good shooting team or are they just hot? What do you attribute that to? Is Iowa
I
just bad at D?
I think it's one of those things where they were just really hot and Iowa played a little bit of bad defense. But
well, Iowa scores 90 points a game, which is saying they can't play that great a defense, right?
Right.
Iowa scores 90 a game.
That's what AJ said.
89 a game.
89
a game. Wow. What are the Badgers? They got to be up there too, don't they?
They're in the 80s, 83 or something like that.
Yeah, that's incredible for them. Has Wisconsin's style changed?
Yes, it's much more efficient, much more ball movement, much more freedom of movement type style. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to last year's team, but if you had a bunch of, like, for example, like, let's just use AJ Storr as an example, but they have 3 AJ Storrs now on the team, I would say. If you get rid of, because with Kanye and other two transfers they got in. So.
Yeah, Blackwell, he was great against Wisconsin. Against Marquette.
Blackwell's a stud. The only issue with Blackwell is, will they be able to keep him next year? That's the only issue.
Well, don't worry about next year with the team right now because everything changed. Like I saw an interesting interview with Patino. I'm not a Patino fan, but he said, when I look at practice now, I have 13 guys. I may have to replace 10 of them for next year. Everything changes.
Exactly. It's all fluid now.
Yeah. So with that said, let's just concentrate on this year because who knows what next year is going to bring.
Yep.
Now you picked them, AJ, preseason number 4 in the Big Ten.
I did. And
are you feeling good about that?
I'm feeling really good about it. They got a big game tomorrow night. They go to, I believe it's, where is it? Tomorrow night.
Is it Purdue or somebody like that?
It's wherever it is. It's a 6:00 game. So.
Oh, good.
I'm going to find out real quick. Hey, we didn't say. They play Rutgers.
But is it in Piscataway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how's Rutgers? Last year they were pretty good. They didn't make it.
They got 2 guys. They got two freshmen that they're talking about being lottery picks.
Really?
Yeah.
Their coach is good. Seems to be a good coach.
He's a good coach. Yeah.
Okay, so that could be a tussle for us.
Yep, and it's at the rack in Piscataway. That's what they call the arena. So.
Okay. Are you?
So they're betting on. They're picking the Knights tomorrow. 55%. So.
I'm feeling pretty confident though.
Yeah, Badgers are 1-2 in the conference. I can't, on the road game. Yeah.
1-2 with 2 tough losses too.
Yeah. So they're still losses. They still count.
They lost to Michigan, and Michigan, who nobody thought be any good, is now 8-1. So.
Now they play. Didn't they play last night? USC or something? Or I remember seeing promo.
I didn't see the score.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw a lot of promos for them during whatever was on.
It was on Fox.
Yeah, during the football games.
Oh, they beat SC last night.
There you go.
85-74. So
what's their record now?
They're 11-3.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Big Ten's going to be tough in basketball this year.
Yes. You got UCLA too? Man.
Yeah, well, football too, but let's keep on basketball. So, was Friday nights a blip on the screen? Will we ever see anything like this again from the Badgers?
I think you'll see a lot of efficiency, but I don't think you'll see 116.
They brought in. Did you watch it, AJ?
I did watch the whole thing.
They brought in guys who were like rarely play, and they were pumping up threes, and they were making them.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
They were going for the school record. That's why they were.
Did they get the school record?
They tied it.
I think they beat it. They beat it for the most 3-pointers in the game.
They had 23 threes. That's right.
23?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What's his name? Carter Gilmore, who is like a good hustle guy. He had 3 threes, I saw.
Did he really? I was trying to figure out who scored those 3s. So Happy Gilmore scored 3.
Yeah. Tanjay scored some. Blackwell scored them.
Kamari had 4.
AJ's buddy Kamari had 4.
Yes, he did. He was tough in that game.
He is tough. He flies around, man.
Yeah, he does. How tall is he, AJ? Do you know?
Barely 6 foot.
Barely 6 foot. Boy, he's something.
He's a smart kid too. He had when he was in school at St. Cat's. He had a 4.0, so he's a very smart kid.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. Klesmit didn't start out tough, but he started pumping in threes too in the second half. So it was coming from everybody.
Yes, I want to credit FS1 for putting Marquette and Wisconsin back to back on Friday night.
I hope you enjoyed that. It's never going to happen again.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful timing.
All right. So the good news for the Badgers. Hope they can carry some of that on to tomorrow in New Jersey. Anything about college basketball in general? I saw Tennessee was number 1. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
I saw the beginning of Tennessee and Arkansas, and it's weird seeing that slippery Calipari in a red check jacket.
Yeah, right. It is weird. It still is weird.
Kentucky looked pretty good. They beat
that dude is a good coach. I never heard of him before.
Mark Pope?
Yeah.
Well, he was a good player for Kentucky. He played, I think, when they won the championship under Patino.
Yeah. Was he a big kid?
Yeah.
Bigger guy, yeah.
I think he was coaching at BYU, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Somewhere out west.
That's correct, BYU.
So he became a Mormon for a while, huh?
Yeah. I read an interesting profile on him. Seems like an interesting guy. But he's one of their own. He played there, so they'll like that more than they'll give him at least a little bit more rope. So I wish him well.
Hey, don't turn away from our Golden Eagles.
That's right.
Number 8 in the country
right now, man.
And their defense is tough.
Beat Creighton Friday night. Play Georgetown Tuesday night. A huge game because they're both 4-0.
Is Georgetown? Who's Georgetown's coach now? I don't know.
It's
who did they go to?
It's you know who it is?
No.
It's Ed Cooley.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a good coach.
He's a real good coach.
Cool Ed Cooley.
Still
That's
can't
good.
figure out the bald spot in his head. But
it's like his signature.
It is. It really is. He's a real good coach, though. They play hard. They beat Xavier on Friday night as well.
Who is going to be good in the Big East this year? Who's going to make the tournament?
Marquette, St. John's, Creighton. I would be surprised. Nova's pretty good. I'd say about 6 teams.
Did you listen to the broadcast on Friday night, AJ? The reason I ask is because the guy said they were talking about one of the who knows how many prognosticators about the who's going to make the tournament, and very early tournament picks. They even had like seedings for different teams in the tournament.
Yeah, right.
They only had 2 teams from the Big East making the tournament.
Why does the Big East get cut short like that?
I mean, they got there's a lot of basketball to be played.
Well, they beat each other up. That's the problem. I was talking to, Drew, take Drew's team for example. They were 9-1 in the non-conference play. They haven't won a game in the Big East yet, so they're not 9-5. So.
Yeah, but I mean, the Big East the Big Ten seems to they go lower and lower, and then the Big East sucks again, or Big Ten sucks again, and right, and then, but the Big East seems to get a few teams in there. I don't get it. I don't get it. So.
And how did they do in the tournament last year? We won. UConn won it. So
really well, yeah.
2 years in a row. How are they doing now, AJ? I haven't been watching.
They're rolling now. They're number 11. They're number 11 in the country now. They lost 3 games in Maui, but they haven't lost since. So.
When do they play Marquette? Do you know? It must not be imminent if you didn't know. That's all right.
It's a little bit. They don't play until February 1.
Until February. Okay.
Yeah.
What else about college basketball, AJ? What's the state of it?
I think the state is kind of interesting. I think these coaches coming out and talking about NIL and stuff is very interesting. Dave Clawson from Wake Forest, we talked about Jake Dickert last week.
Mm-hmm.
Came out and said he's not happy with the state of college sports, and that's why he stepped down. So I think these coaches are very outspoken, which I think is very interesting because these coaches make a lot of money too.
Yep.
So I think that's very interesting that these coaches are so outspoken about the kids not making money.
Well, it certainly has shifted a lot of the power, if you will, to the athletes versus the coaches. The coaches used to hold all of it.
Exactly.
Now it's, I don't know. Is this swung too far? I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I think some way, shape, or form they got to bring it back down the middle.
They need a rules committee of some sort. I think they need one. There's one rule I would change. This whole let's transfer in the middle of the season is not for example, Penn State's still in the playoff. They don't have a backup quarterback right now because their quarterback is in the transfer portal. So.
Right. Why do they have that when the season's not over? Why is that even a thing?
Because I think it's the end of the semester for teams. So I guess.
Yeah, everything's going out, so they go to end of semester so the kids can be there the next semester.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, something's wrong with that, though.
It's goofy.
Yeah. It's goofy.
As Saban said, as McAfee said, I don't credit Pat McAfee often, but he said, there's one man on this desk who should be commissioner, and we all know who it is. So.
Dick Vitale?
He was talking about Saban. Commissioner of college football.
Yeah, they got to bring it back. I mean, I don't know if you get to a point that you can have kids stay for 2 years, or how do you get to a point that you can stabilize the system somewhat?
I don't know.
Make it a 2 year minimum commitment. That would be good.
Well, along those lines, that same Patino interview I saw, he said, unless we say sign them to employment contracts, where you're going to be an employee of the university for 2 years, or whatever that term is, and negotiate that as long as you're negotiating.
Well, Dartmouth tried to unionize their basketball team. That was kind of interesting.
Dartmouth did?
Yeah, they tried to unionize their basketball team as employees of the school district. That was kind of interesting.
I don't know. Something has to settle it down though, because you're going to lose. People are going to lose interest in that. I mean, it makes it a little bit exciting right now, but to try to follow teams and
you can't follow who's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Wisconsin football now has 17 new players from last year's team.
That came in the portal.
Yep, all came in the portal.
Well, when we were watching the game the other night, Margot looked up Chucky Hepburn. He's at Louisville, and he said he didn't have a problem with the coaching or any of the other players or anything. He had just got a better deal going to Louisville. That's why he went there.
Yeah. And is he still playing pretty well for him?
Leading assists, I think.
Is he? He's a good player.
He's a good player.
Who's coaching Louisville now? Is there a name coach? That one guy didn't last, did he? Who went from I think the guy from Xavier went there, didn't he?
No, he didn't. It's
the guy Chris something. He had his head shaved.
It's not Chris Mack anymore.
Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Let's see. Who's Louisville? Pat Kelsey. Pat Kelsey
from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he Jason and?
Well, he was at Xavier.
Oh, he was at Xavier.
Yeah. He was at
So
Xavier.
Sean Miller went back to Xavier. That's right.
That's right. He got back in the game. He had quite a comeuppance. All the stuff that he and Bruce Pearl were doing for years is probably legal now with the NIL.
Hey, Reggie Bush got his Heisman Trophy back, so yeah, it is legal now.
Good for Reggie. All right, what about pro football?
I'm excited for today, man. A lot of stuff still to be decided. We all gotta wait. We all gotta wait till about 9:30, 10 o'clock to decide the big one, though. So I like the Vikings today, though.
Because
I think they'll be able to run the ball more.
Detroit's on there like their fifth stringers for defense. So many guys are hurt.
Yep.
I'm pulling for Detroit. I don't know why, but they certainly beat the Packers.
I'm pulling for Detroit also, but again, I have no idea why.
But I think I like the coach. I think he's a character. And
I just don't. Well, how much do we? Nobody likes the Vikings. We don't like the Vikings.
We were talking about. I was at a thing last night, and there were Bear fans and Lion fans, people all from those areas, and we were talking about the Lions guy was saying, I've always rooted against the Packers, and the Bears fans said, yeah, me too. And I said, well, I grew up hating the Vikings because they beat us with Fran Tarkenton when I was growing up. They had Chuck Foreman and Fran Tarkenton and the Purple People Eaters and all that shit.
Oh,
and they just, the one year we even tied them, but they had a better record or something. They went. It was terrible.
Yeah, we got smacked. Carl Eller and
yes,
Jim Marshall.
Alan Page, right?
Alan Page. Oh yeah.
Jim Marshall. I never forget he went the wrong way.
That's right. Give him a break, for God's sake.
They didn't worry about concussions back then. He was just
I thought I don't know if you saw any of the Bengals and Steelers last night, but I thought what's his name was going to be out with a concussion, but he came right back in. Quarterback. Yeah. Did you see his head get mashed under all those guys?
I did.
Did you? I thought it looked bad.
It was on the replay. I was on the replay yesterday when I got home. So.
Yeah. Pittsburgh's lost 4 in a row now, right?
They're done.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there with Russell Wilson, and I mean even with
I keep Justin Fields, the younger version of him. He's younger, more athletic.
They're still in the process. Could make the playoffs yet, couldn't they?
They're
in. Okay.
They're still a 5 seed.
No, they dropped to 6.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They dropped to 6 if the Chargers win today.
Okay.
Do you think it matters what seed the Packers get?
I like the matchup with. I don't like the matchup with Philly, so I want them to get the 6.
Okay.
Because Saquon just torched us the last time.
Yeah, he's good. He and A.J. Brown just had to.
And he's going to be upset because he wanted a chance of the rushing record today, so he'll just torch whoever he plays.
Yeah, he shouldn't be upset with us. He talk to the coach or talk to their organization. They're the ones sitting him down. Do you agree with that?
No, I wanted to get the record.
Was he upset about sitting?
I haven't heard. Is he, AJ?
He's very upset.
Oh, is he? Oh, God. So, but the next day, yeah, you're right. The next team he plays will probably be us. He'll be going for 500 yards.
Yeah.
Especially since yesterday's, I don't know if you saw the Ravens. Who's going to be the MVP now of the league? Who would you make MVP of the league? The two that are the most talked about are Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen.
I'd make it say. I honestly, I'd take MVP like this. If you take the player off the team, what would the team's record be? I go to Josh Allen because I still think the Ravens will be pretty good if they split carries between Lamar and Derrick Henry. So I think the Ravens will be pretty good if you reverse the quarterbacks.
Who's the quarterback backup?
It's
not Huntley anymore, right?
No, it's not Huntley anymore.
He's in Miami, right? Huntley,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know who the backup is. What do you say, Scorp?
I'm a Josh Allen this year. I think
he's a stud.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's carried that team. I would agree with. I would agree with AJ. I think Baltimore would be solid. I mean, they wouldn't be where they are, but I think that I think Buffalo without Josh Allen isn't.
I don't know who they're back. I don't know who either of the team's backup quarterbacks are because they don't play.
Yeah, Josh Allen's situation reminds me of like what they said about the Packers, whether it was Favre or Aaron Rodgers. You know, if those guys were gone, the team wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Right.
I think that's kind of how the Bills are now. I also saw a thing saying, the voters know that Lamar Jackson's already got 2 MVPs, and while that shouldn't factor into it, sometimes they say, well, this guy hasn't got one yet. I'm just going to throw the vote to him.
Yeah,
to Josh Allen.
That's what they even with Giannis. That's what they did with him. I mean, not that he deserved it the following year, but he definitely dropped down the charts.
Yeah,
probably further than he deserved to.
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
So, I hope Josh Allen gets it. But I'd like
him because I think he's built for Buffalo.
I'd like to see Buffalo win the whole thing.
Would you?
Yeah.
They'd be your number 2 after the Packers?
Yeah. That'd be my number 2.
What about you, AJ?
Yes. I agree.
I'd go with Bills.
They deserve to win.
I'd be good if either the Bills or the Lions, either one of those two.
I like people that jump through tables.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I was listening to that on ESPN radio last week. They were talking about the Packers and because they're up in Green Bay and what all these people and all the ESPN announcers and what a great time they had and on and on and on and on. They said, but they're all Packer fans are almost too nice, right? They said you really want to juice things up, go to Buffalo. They said those people are nuts over there.
That'll do it. Yeah, I have a friend who's a Browns fan, and he says I can't believe how nice Packer fans are when he goes to a game up there.
Yeah,
it's crazy. He said it's just unbelievable.
Our rests are down too.
Are the Packers going to rest players today, or are they going to play them?
They're going to play them. LaFleur said they need rhythm. So
I think they play them first half and see where the score of that Cowboys game is. No, the Cowboys. Now that I'm cheering for the Cowboys, it's a Cowboys game. It's not a Commanders game.
That's a weird feeling to cheer for the Cowboys.
Once, maybe twice a year.
Throw us a bone, Mike. Come on.
Mike, do you think he's going to make it back?
I do. I think they lost a lot on their roster this year, so I do really think he's going to be back.
I think he walks away.
He could.
I think he says enough.
He's a free agent though, so he could go anywhere he wants.
Yeah, I'd like to see him leave. I like McCarthy. I think he's a good person.
New Orleans would be the perfect spot for him.
I just what he has to put up with every day as and what he does, not a chance. I'd walk away and start fresh.
New Orleans would be the perfect spot for him.
It's a great story. His story. I remember reading about him. He was the toll booth guy. Remember that? Yeah, it was one of his jobs, and his friends would keep coming back through, so he'd have to see them. They'd turn around and come back again just to make fun of him. That was great.
Yeah, AJ sat next to him in church.
No, I did. It was a great story, Jack. I got nothing on the church that day, but I stared at my card the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, he was in Kohler for on a holiday break.
First year of his tenure.
Was it his first year?
Yep. They went 8-8, and I remember the one of the Kohler families was like, "We should go up to him and get a picture." I'm like, "He's in freaking church." He came in church.
I was ushering. I told the boys, Dominic and Douglas, they had to move to another seat so they could have those 2 seats next to AJ.
Man,
8-8 that year, by the way.
That's not bad first year. Okay. Anything else about the NFL? Any other games you're looking at or watching with interest or anything today? Denver's got to win that when Kansas City's resting those guys, don't you think?
Kansas City's resting Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes. So you better.
Yeah, the Bengals, nobody wants to play them now, but it's too late for them. They have to have both Miami lose and Denver to lose to get in. It'd be a miracle if they got in. Yeah. It could happen, but
yeah. I don't. I'd prefer to see Denver in. Just to
Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix would do really well.
I'm not a big Sean Payton guy. I think he.
Well, he cheated, so there you go.
Besides cheating, he's a good guy.
Yeah. Besides that, all right. NBA. Before we go, Jimmy Butler. We talked about him last week, remember? And I said Pat Riley said he's not going to get traded, and you guys said that means he's going to get traded. And now,
what is he? 7 game suspension?
Yeah. Of course, the Players Association is going to appeal that.
So what did he do? He's just talking his mouth.
Conduct detrimental to the team.
Yeah, they said several instances of conduct detrimental to the team.
They should get rid of his social media.
Isn't that kind of sad for a guy that age? I always like to give young guys breaks, when they're 22, 23, 24 years old. But here's a guy that's, been in the league for what, 10, 12 years? He's acting like he's a 10-year-old?
It's hard to believe he was at Marquette. That's a couple lifetimes ago.
He hates Marquette, by the way.
Of course. He hates wherever he is. One of his quotes yesterday was or whatever day they last interviewed him, he said, I just want to find joy again playing basketball.
Well, you couldn't find joy. You couldn't find joy in Minnesota. You couldn't find joy in Philadelphia. What makes you think you're gonna find joy somewhere else?
I don't know. And his player option for next year is like $55 million if he walks away from it. That's unbelievable.
He might just walk away from the game. To be honest with you, he's a different dude. He's like.
Who's he like?
Antonio Brown in the NBA. Because he's just never happy.
He ain't that bad.
Nobody's that bad.
No.
He's never happy. He never is happy. He's on a. They won it. Didn't they win it? They went to the finals when he was like.
Yeah.
He missed the 3 to win the finals. So they could have won. They could. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. Not either.
But if he gets traded, that means more playing time for Duncan. So man.
Yeah. Would you take him? Would you want him on your team?
No. Flat no.
Yeah. I think there's going to be limited takers to that. They're not going to get much for it because nobody wants him. Nobody wants that problem. That guy.
No.
What about the Bucks? What are they up to?
Disaster.
Uh-oh.
Disaster. They lost to Portland last night. And they lost to Brooklyn earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Absolute disaster.
I heard they've been bad since winning the cup or whatever you call that.
Yeah,
thing.
they've been bad. They've been real bad. They've gotten in deep holes, which is not good.
Well, and how about not to change, but Oklahoma City, who lost to the Bucks in the finals, because that game didn't count. Oklahoma City's on what, a 14-game winning streak?
Yes.
14, 15-game winning streak.
Wow.
Without that came in, but yeah, back to the Bucks. They just
the Eastern Conference, and no disrespect to anybody in the Eastern Conference, but I'm going to disrespect it right now. You are awful. The Bucks are 1 game over 500, and they're in 5th.
That's cyclical. That stuff changes.
But that's awful. That's terrible.
Go ahead.
You only have to be in the top 6 to be secure in the playoffs, and that's terrible. You're playing tournament this year. You're going to be 4 teams that are under 500.
Well, will the leagues ever go to a seeding where they just take the 16 best records, whether it's football or basketball? The same stuff's going on in football where you have teams that have a lot worse record and get a home game in the first round against either Minnesota or Detroit or Green Bay.
I don't think so. Too much money.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's entertaining that
they got a new TV deal too, so I don't think they'll go with that.
NBA or NFL?
NBA just got a new TV deal with NBC and Amazon.
But the NFL, I don't see going to it. I think it's they play 16 games, 17 games now. They play their hearts out. They battle their division teams twice.
Yeah.
You're going to keep those teams in. By the way, you got a team like the Rams right now that's hot. That's good for football, right?
Yeah, I think so. Have they clinched the Rams?
Yeah, they won the division. Yep.
Seattle can't win it?
No.
Okay.
Seattle crept a bit the last 2 weeks.
So the only meaningful games for fans today, for the Packers fans, are Green Bay. They could lose, and it's not going to affect their position, right? It doesn't matter.
They could be 7.
It does matter.
They'll be 7 or 6, either way.
Okay.
The Commanders have to lose.
Commanders have to lose. So that game and the Minnesota-Detroit one doesn't matter to us because we're behind either one of those two.
No, because they got a bye. So.
Okay. Well, all comes down to the final game.
Yep. It all comes down to the final game. So it'll be interesting.
Do you think the Packers are as good as they were last year, or do you think the other teams are just better than they were last year?
I think the other teams are just better.
I think the Packers are better than they were last year. You didn't know Aaron Jones went on a tear, but you didn't know that going into if he was going to keep going. Josh Jacobs makes them better, and Cooper makes them better, I think, than they were. Those two.
Jerry don't help.
No.
I think what hurts the biggest thing that hurts them right now to me is not having that cornerback that can stick to number one.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Well,
do you think the defensive coordinator was a good move? He's
good. He's real good.
I like him. I think he's got guys playing. I think when you're stuck out on that corner spot, you're either really good or you're exposed.
Well, and the thing with the Jerry injuries is he would allow Keyshawn to move the back to the inside. Keyshawn playing outside corner right now. He's not very good there.
Any word on Evan Williams, how he's coming along?
No word, as far as I know.
He's a big one.
Yeah. They need. I mean, you hate to say it, everybody does, but they definitely are. They don't have the backup that other teams seem to have. They need their top guys, or they're not getting there.
Well, and speaking of which, their top guys, McKinney makes them better than last year too. They have more good players.
X is really good.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I think but I think the other teams are better.
Yeah.
Detroit's better. Minnesota's better. Philly's better.
Packers are 11-0 against teams that they have better record than, and they're 0-5 against teams with better records.
Yeah.
They're getting better, I think, but they got to do something else. All right. So, what's your prediction for the Packers today, boys?
I think they're going to win. I think I'll make a prediction here. I think J Love only plays the first half.
I think the Pack will win. That also. But
it'd be a bummer for them to lose. I think he's good, but man, it seems like he floats back. He thinks he has more time than he had. He doesn't. When he makes those decisive throws, he really seems good. Other times, he just kind of.
I think I would say that they were talking about on the radio, and I've thought this for a while, is one of the issues that a guy like him has, and I don't know how good he is or how not good he is. He's a quarterback that he's throwing 20 passes a game. You're not getting in a rhythm throwing 20 passes a game, right? And that's tough. That's tough to. And I'm not saying I like
just go out there and sling it either.
Yeah, I like their offense. I like the way they're running, but when you have less chances and not getting it, it's like a guy shooting. A guy who was a shooter in basketball.
Yeah.
If you cut back his number of attempts, but he manages it well. I think a lot of guys wouldn't manage it well.
Yeah, Herbert's going through the same thing where he was running and gunning the whole time, and now emphasis on the run. But his level of play has not dropped off. He's still really good.
No.
And the team's much better.
Oh yeah, they're much better.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go out with not forgetting about college football because I think I was 2-1 and AJ was 1-2.
I was waiting for this.
Exactly.
Am I right?
You're correct.
Am I right?
You're correct.
Okay.
And the only one you lost went into double overtime.
Double overtime. Arizona State came way back. So
Cam Skidaboo.
He's great.
He is a star.
He is a star.
Unfortunately, they're out. So
yeah.
So we got at least have to make predictions.
So one of those games Thursday and Friday. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Thursday and Friday.
Okay. Let's hear them.
I predict Notre Dame over Penn State, and I predict Ohio State over Texas.
Okay.
Which means Ohio State. Sorry, Sean Kreider. Ohio State's gonna win.
All right, Doug.
I was going to take the same two teams, but now I got to go the opposite.
You don't got to go. You got to go with what you think.
I think Ohio State's the best. I think Ohio State's the best team right now. And again, I know it's a lot of times it's tough to play great games back to back, but they seem to really be on a roll. Penn State, Notre Dame, I think it's a toss up. I think both teams are. I mean, they're both really good teams, or they wouldn't be there, right?
Too.
But I don't think that either of them are very explosive. So the only thing I would pick on that game is the under. I think that Notre Dame Penn State game, whatever the score is going to be the under. But I'll take Notre Dame.
So you guys got the same.
Yeah.
Fun fact, gentlemen.
What's that?
The coordinator for Penn State was the coordinator under Leipold at Whitewater.
Yeah. Well, he was a coordinator at Kansas with him, right? And he hired him away from there.
Yes, sir.
What's his name, AJ? Do you know the name?
Andy Kolnicki.
Andy Kolnicki. That sounds like a Wisconsin kind of
name. Yeah, he's got to be a Polish guy from the south side of Milwaukee or something like that, right?
He is.
Is he?
I think so.
Two of my most hated teams are playing each other, Penn State and Notre Dame. So I don't know who I want to lose more in that one.
Yeah.
And I think Texas is. I don't think they're getting. I mean, I know Arizona State gave them a real all they could handle, but Texas has a lot of good players on that defense too.
Yeah, they do.
They got a lot of fast guys. I'll take them, and I'll say I don't care on the other one. I wish they'd both lose.
It's kind of like you wish that it was flip flopped a little bit right now, so we could see Texas and Ohio State in the
yes.
Final,
right? James Franklin reminds me of Tom Cream about football, kind of clappy and just excited for his team when they win, but doesn't like answering questions when they lose. So.
Well, I guess I have to take Penn State because you both took Notre Dame. So I'm going PSU and Texas, and you guys are going OSU and Notre Dame. We'll see.
Wasn't that a BCS game one year, OSU and Notre Dame? If I remember correctly.
Probably.
Way back when Brady and AJ were,
think so.
Brady and AJ were in college.
Okay.
Brady Quinn and AJ Hawk were in college.
Brady Quinn. Yeah. Wow, there was a guy that
he makes a lot of money now on Fox.
He sure does.
Makes a lot more than ever made coaching.
Yeah.
Playing, for that matter.
Or playing, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, both. All right, AJ, it's time. You better
it's
have
time
something.
For the words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Advice on life that AJ has gleaned from the world of sports. Let's hear it.
All right, so I took this from a game that I watched the other night, and I was watching. The I don't remember what game it was, but the coaches were. I don't know what I was going for, but neither here nor there. I think when it comes to, I just want to talk about how Notre Dame and Georgia handled the situation in New Orleans. Marcus Freeman was, for those who didn't see the interview, was pure class in his post-game interview, and I just want to talk about that a little bit because I think a lot of coaches nowadays they get caught up in leading and winning and not necessarily growing leaders of men. And I just want to compliment, today is more about, I think, complimenting them because I just like the way he handled the situation in terms of the best way he could, in terms of leading with class and leading and talking about how important it was to honor those they lost in the tragedy. So I think that's my big takeaway. Just creating leaders of men and leaders of young women in college sports, because I think that's what's going to be the key to the future of America too. So that's my key to success.
Yeah, I hate to say it because I hate Notre Dame, but I think they got a good one. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a classy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was very classy in his post game presser and very classy in his, they interviewed him the morning of the game on Thursday, and he just said like, I like to take a minute to honor the victims and go from there. So he said we're just playing football, but it's it was very classy. So
yeah. Okay, boys, that's it. Another Mafia in the books.
A long one today, Jack.
Yeah. AJ had a lot. AJ had a lot to say, which is not unusual, I guess. I have to give him credit. Not a lot of fence sitting today. He was coming with it today. That was good. You're learning, AJ.
We're sitting wondering if we're getting the Packer game. It's not showing up. Maybe that's the pregame stuff.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Hey, focus. Let's go.
But yeah, it's a good. Yeah.
Oh, they're showing the game with Tampa Bay and New Orleans because they're having a moment of silence.
Oh yeah.
Before. So.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
all
Jack.
right, boys. Have a great week. AJ, looking probably Wednesday evening, maybe.
Wednesday. Wednesday evening.
Okay. Fun. All right, boys.
Always a pleasure.
Good boy to AJ and Doug Bokine.